tips on how you can explore sensory play at home, and we're going to give you a little idea of the resources that we use here in the studio. And to be honest, they are all things that you may find. We would just encourage you to use anything that you may have at home, anything that's already in your kitchen or in your bathroom and is safe to use for baby.
We often use colours like black and white, things that baby can see when they're in their peripheral vision. Sometimes the baby won't be able to grip some of the resources, but you can use the 5 senses to encourage baby with the play.
So focus on the 5 senses: sight, sound, taste, scent and touch.
So obviously we're really lucky here at East Valley Fitness and Wellbeing. We have this gorgeous studio that's fitted with all the lights and the mod cons that we need to run these fantastic sensory play sessions. One of our most popular ones from the first term was the glow in the dark disco. But these are things again that you can do at home. We used obviously a tub tray, and we used a general wash basin that you get in your kitchen. This over here is a litter tray, isn't it, for kittens and cats. Obviously they've never been used before, they're all brand new, but they're very cheap to buy out in your local supermarkets and shops. So we're just going to take you through some of the things that you can use at home that are going to be in the shops now, or you may have laying around. It's Christmas, we use the twinkle lights for sure, obviously not to be put in the water, but the babies love lights and are just attracted to the flashing, to the colour. It's a real good one for baby. Another great one that you can use in water play as well is the glow sticks. So all you need to do is crack them and so it's really difficult for us to kind of show you how to do it without babies, but here we have our massage dolls. And it's just about getting them either set up right, you can support them here, or a lot of our parents prefer to lay baby down. You can do it on the carpet at home on a nice little rug, and just surround the baby with all these sensory colours and flashing lights. Another thing that we use, and just got in her little tray over there, is the glow-in-the-dark stars that a lot of parents may have at home for older children maybe that are already stuck in the room. If not, that again, they're very cheap to buy from Amazon, but it's just that idea that baby can reach and they can grab, you can hang it in front of their faces, you can put it under the water. It's just, there's no real outcome to sensory play, it's just a sensory experience that's going to help them developmentally and cognitively.
Oh, what's that? Has it gone?
I did one when she was making her children.
So another really popular aspect of our sensory play sessions is edible messy play, and there's so much that you can do with it. So we're just going to show you a few examples of some of the courses that we ran in our first week term, which started in September. So first of all, I think I'll talk you through pasta play, and one of our first themes is about rainbows. So we can use spaghetti, and it's just general products that you buy from your local supermarket, cheap as chips, probably got some laying around in your cupboard, and we'll give you some top tips on how to do it. Okay, so I'll show you a little clip of how we did our rainbow pasta play here in the generic pasta, either shapes or strands. Now the strands are good because you can hold it above baby's head, you can lay them over them flat. As you probably saw in the video, we've done both right now and both are just as popular as the other. And then you just need some lovely food colouring. It's really, really cheap at the minute in places like Aldi. Now, use the primary colours when you're making your rainbow pasta. You don't need to do every colour under the sun. It's completely up to you. If you've got an orange left over from Halloween, just use the orange. It doesn't really matter. Again, just reiterating, it's the experience of touch, scent, taste. And if they put it in the mouth, it doesn't really matter because everything that you're using is edible and safe for baby. One of our top tips would be to put the pasta, either the spaghetti or the shapes, into a large hot tub or a pan, and you don't necessarily need to boil it. Just put the hot water in there from the kettle and leave it for a good 15 to 20 minutes. And then it's not going to overcook, so it's not going to be as stodgy and as sticky. It's best it be slightly just undercooked so it doesn't lose its form and in its shape. So once you're finished, all you really need to do is pop your pasta into a Ziploc bag and then add any of the food colouring that you want to do. We've got a lovely little example over here, one that we have kind of prepared for you, and this is a lovely squidgy, brightly coloured green spiral pasta. And we've also got a red, and you can see the vibrancy of the colours. And the nice thing is, if you can prepare it earlier, the better. This is being left overnight, obviously, hence the reason why it's so vibrant. But you can then rinse the pasta off, and you're not going to get colouring on baby or any clothes or anything like that.
Another top tip would be, again, we're very blessed here that we do have all these lovely facilities, and we do have lots of tough trays, but you can use black bags. You can literally just, the extra large bags, just put them together and lay a baby down, and it's another sensory experience, and you're not going to get messy at the end of it. If you tape the bags together, all you need to do is fold it all in, straight in the bin, mess free. So if baby is at the age where he or she is really inquisitive and everything goes in the mouth, edible play is the way forward. And one of a brilliant one to do is edible Play-Doh. It's really, really popular, and again, really cheap and really easy to do. So we might relate using Play-Doh to maybe older children, toddlers and older, where they like to form shapes and use cutters and really use the gross and fine motor skills. However, it is okay to use with babies as well, as we've found out. So I'm going to show you how to make the best edible Play-Doh, and the best thing is it's yummy as well.
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the edible Play-Doh and how easy it is to do at home, and give you some top tips to try and make it as stick-free as possible. So I'm going to be using the giant barbecue marshmallows, and all you do is open the packet, pop them in a nice microwavable glass bowl. I'm going to zap these for 30 seconds. So as you can see, after the 30 seconds it's up, it's not quite, they've just started to warm up basically. So I'm going to pop them in for another 30 seconds. So once the marshmallows have started to soften up, I'm going to put a big tablespoon of coconut oil and add it to my mixture, and then I'm going to zap it again for another 30 seconds. You might need to add a little bit extra coconut oil in there because you want it to be nice and soft, okay? The best thing to do is to add the coconut oil at this point, because otherwise all of the ingredients will stick to the bottom of the bowl, which is not what we want. So give it a good solid mix through. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop mine, if you can just have a look at the consistency. Filming from home is not the best idea, but I'm just going to pop it in the microwave again just for another 30 seconds.
Always there to please you, always there when I need you, always there.
Okay, so one that we've got planned for next term is actually an animal scene. So what we do is we use the multi-grain hoops that we've got with us today, but before you lay them out, give them a shake, let the children hear them, maybe take the lid off, crunch them in your hands and let them feel the difference when the hoops are actually crushed up. And then we'd make a scene. So we'd take our cat litter tray and lay out some hoops. We'd maybe use some chocolate mousse to give that different texture, and then we'd lay some animals that we've got here into the tough tray and let the children play, let them explore. This would work with babies, this could also work with older children if you've got them too.
And again, everything's edible, everything's safe, and it's just a different scene. So now I'm going to show you how you can set up a sensory play scene at home. So as previously discussed, in our next upcoming term we're going to do a animal farm scene. Okay, so I've got some just harmless little plastic toys there, different styles of animals. It doesn't really matter what they are, depending on babies or toddler's age. So you can use chocolate mousse or you can use yogurt. I'm going to use, or both. I'm going to use yogurt for today. So I'm just going to make my muddy scene. So this is from the leftover yogurt that we used down at the studio today. So I'm just going to pour it in there. Now obviously if you use just chocolate mousse, you don't need to add any colour to it because it's always got that thick, dark brown texture that would represent the mud. One thing that I have learnt from today is that I would make a terrible blogger. But anyway, give it a bash. So I've got some brown gel. I always feel like the gel colouring, because I enjoy baking as well, kind of holds its colour a little bit better. I'm just going to give that a little mix up. Never actually done this before. And I suppose what you could do if you wanted to, for another sense, is you could use ice cream or you could freeze the mousse and let it, you can kind of let that defrost. Excuse me, so you're going to get that another sense to add in there, as long as it's not too cold. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. My gel colouring. Pretty good mixing. There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeeze. So I'm just going to put that to one side for now, okay? Right, so obviously with any kind of edible sensory play, what we try and do is have a range of textures. So these work really, really well. Anything sound, you know, babies love rattles. Get them to kind of follow the sounds from left to right. Take it high and take it low. Take it everywhere you go. Let them play with the resources themselves first of all. But when you're ready to set up your scene, or again, if you've got older siblings that want to kind of help and get involved, this can be like a family activity. So I'm just going to put some of these out there. It's a lovely little sound. But then what I'm also going to do is take them in my hands and I'm going to start to crush them like sand. So I'm going to get a nice sandy scene in there as well. Rice Krispies would work well, Cocoa Pops would work well. You know, you can just literally use your imagination. If you wanted to get that really fine texture, just pop them in a blender, in a food processor, and get them crackled up. Yeah. We discussed, didn't we, about the rolled oats as well. So here's some rolled oats that we made earlier. I'm going to just sprinkle that in with some sand so we can make this better. And obviously all of this is 100% safe for baby to eat. And now I'm going to add my muddy scene. And then you've got your 3 different textures there. And then, do we have elephants on the farm? We do today. And literally just get them stuck in. and make sure that you've got some utensils so the children and babies or yourself can get them mixed in together. Ooh, we've got lions and tigers as well here. Absolutely pissed. What we try and do a lot of is edible painting, because the babies and parents just love getting involved and looking at the use of colour. And what we've tended to find works really well is Greek yogurt, so everything's natural. There's no artificial sweetness or anything in there, so again 100% safe for baby. This one that we're using here is just a very cheap one from Tesco. We've also used Aldi's own brands and everything's lovely, but we'll show you what to do. So simple. You can use any kind of like takeaway container or a bowl, anything that you've got at home, and you just choose the colours that you want to do. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Grab a spoon, take a nice big dollop into your container, just like this. And then, shall we go for blue? Just going to put a couple of drips in there, make sure Winnie doesn't tiny it. And again, you just put as much or as little colour in as you want to. And what we found is things like these that you will have at home that you can kind of base your Sunday roast with. We use them as little paintbrushes, really nice and light. And as you can see there, we've got a gorgeous, vibrant colour. And just strip baby down, you know, old clothes or even down to nappy really, because the sense of it being painted onto the skin and seeing the colours around baby is a really, really good for them. What you can do is you can also add different textures to your sensory play, and a favourite of ours is dried oats. Again, really easy to prepare, you don't need to leave them long, these have been prepared overnight, but just get your local cheap brand of rolled oats and put them into a bowl, and as if you were going to crumb scone mixture, you would just drop in a couple of drops of your favourite food colouring and crumb it together to get it all in nice and tight, so the colour is spread evenly, and then lay it out on a tea towel or some baking tray or some baking parchment and just let them dry out. This is really good because the colour, it doesn't stain, it doesn't rub off, and you can add it to the paint. Baby you'll feel like they'll try and squeeze it, you can rub it over the skin. You can do the same with desiccated coconut, semolina, all these different textures, natural products just make this sensory play. I'm the owner of Tees Valley Fitness and Wellbeing. We've both got lots of experience working with children, babies, right up to teenagers, as I'm an English teacher by trade, and then went on to co-own a very successful early years setting until recently. And Emily is a level 3 childcare practitioner who specialised in baby care. So this is a passion of ours, and I think you can feel that with our sessions. It's been lovely to watch new mums come in with babies and they've never really had the opportunity because of lockdown to speak to other new mums, to share stories, share experiences, and just to kind of get that reassurance that they're doing a good job, and you will be doing a good job and you're not alone. To the point where babies, I'd never heard another baby cry. So these sessions are really important, and as soon as we open on the 2nd of December, we're here for you. So just get in touch if you want to come down, or we're going to be offering a taster sessions, online live sessions this week on our social media pages. We are on Instagram and we are on Facebook, so we'll be going live on Facebook for you. If you head over to Tees Valley Fitness and Wellbeing, we're there. Just like the page and get in contact.